What up and welcome back to World Heavyweights Live on WorldSports.com. I'm easy joined by Spin More Racks, young Chris, Nicholas Koloff, a.k.a. Microwave Nick, Caleb the Explosive. Smash that like button, be a friend, tell a friend, and share the stream. Getting right into it, guys. We've been saying it not all off season, but as we've gotten closer to football, we're trying to find which Detroit Lions is going to win a national award. And the guy that's been reigning undefeated is Aidan Hutchinson. And this defensive coordinator today had something to kind of give us some backup on those statements. Can you play the clip of AG talking about Aidan Hutchinson?
Very specific.
Very specific.
Hutch has had a tremendous offseason. He had a tremendous training camp. And now he's at that point that he needs to set his sights at being, if not the best player defensively in this league, to one of the best players, which he is, all right? But now it's time for him to look at himself as the best player.
Talked about it, Defensive Player of the Year. I talked about 17 and a half sacks. This is the era he needs to be brought up in. This is the company he needs to keep, is the Myles Garretts, the TJ Watts, the Nick Bosas. That's who Hutchinson should be associated with. That's who Hutchinson should be held to the standard of, is a Micah Parsons. It is a Myles Garrett. Like, that's the type of player he is. He is a franchise-defining defensive player. I fully expect him to be a top 5 candidate for Defensive Player of the Year, if not win it outright. I expect 17 and a half sacks. I expect an interception or two. I expect a couple forced fumbles. The guy is just going to be completely unleashed this year. We talk about J-Mo Unchained. It's Hutch Unchained as well, because you got him a guy in Terrell Williams who is one of the best defensive line coaches in the NFL. You got him a guy in DJ Reader who is one of the best interior defensive eaters in the NFL, so they can't just sit there and triple team Aidan Hutchinson anymore, because you've got a guy in an immovable object in DJ Reader that requires at least 2 offensive linemen to look at him every single play. You've got a guy in Aleem McNeil who is a great interior rusher at the quarterback. And then on the other side, you got 2 freaks of nature in James Houston and Marcus Davenport, who excel at beating one-on-one matchups with their speed, athleticism, and overall girth. So I fully expect Aidan Hutchinson to go out there and make a name for himself because of the pieces he's surrounded with, and on top of just the level of player he is. You look at these guys around the league. Myles Garrett's got Za'Darius Smith. Micah Parsons has DeMarcus Lawrence. TJ Watt has Alex Highsmith. Now Hutchinson has the pieces with him. He's got the defensive line coach. We saw it last year. He had over 100 pressures. Expect at least 10 of those pressures to be quarterback hits, and at least 8 of those quarterback hits to be sacks.
There's been a lot of arguments that, like, he was there by himself last year. I know Unky Neal was one of the guys kind of just saying that was an excuse for him, but, like, it was valid. You know, he led, I think he was only second in the league in pressures with 101. I think TJ Watt was the only guy close to it. But relating this to another Watt, the guy that unlocked him, is a guy that Aidan Hutchinson has playing next to him this season, that's DJ Reed.
Yes.
And that's where you're truly going to see this guy. A lot of those pressures turn into sacks. Speaking of which, you know, his other partner, the guy we talked about, like, we weren't sure about it, Marcus Davenport, we don't really know what to expect. I've been saying 6 sacks. It just feels safe to say. I'm saying 6 or 8 for Aleem. But we had AG at the podium today. He got to tell you what his expectations were for Marcus Davenport.
And this man fits exactly who we want to be on defense, especially playing outside of Hutch. He's a violent, he's a physical, he's an athletic big man that plays the game the right way. So you're absolutely right. If you got a guy like that can bull rush and that can condense the pocket, that allows Hutch and other guys to go to work, and we expect that.
The thing I love about that is because we wondering, like, how's it going to affect Hutch? How's it going to help Hutch? Hutch is such a smart player. Like, half the interceptions he has is just the brilliance of Aidan Hutchinson and to understand the game, just knowing where to be on the football field. Like, that's just some of that stuff you can't necessarily teach. You just have that, like, natural instinct. I feel like you have a Marcus Davenport crushing the pocket alongside of DJ Reader and Aleem McNeil, that Hutch is be able to make more of those freak plays. Even not if he's landing the interception, just tipping the ball up and having a Jack Campbell or somebody else capitalizing the ball at that point. Even a Brian Branch, who we have stuff on today too as well from AG. But regardless, like, it's nice to hear, I guess, that from AG, because I really didn't know what to expect from Marcus Davenport. I assumed that. You watch the film, that's what he's doing on tape with New Orleans, and, you know, a little bit of time he played with Minnesota Vikings. Not long, because now they're paying his salary, and we got him for less than what they're paying him currently this year. But Yeah, it's nice to hear that Marcus Davenport actually has some expectations. It's kind of confirming everything we kind of thought already.
That's the second time we've heard about that bull rush. You hear Aaron Glenn mention it. You heard Taylor Decker say it's the best he's ever seen. And those 3 words that I like to hear for an edge rusher opposite of Aidan Hutchinson: violent, physical, athletic. That's what you need. This guy wins one-on-ones. If it's a one-on-one,
Steve Nash, Chris Paul, must see TV.
Steve Nash, 3 words. Steve Nash, Chris Paul, must see TV. No, all right, I got 2 words for you: Nash and Paul. But dude, R.I.P. inside the NBA. I can't believe they're doing that. Adam Silver, you're a cuck. But
that's true.
you look at this, and what did we have last year? Who was over there? We had the Okwaras. We had Charles Harris. We had nobody that could win one-on-one situations.
No!
You know that Marcus Davenport and James Houston, if they are put in one-on-one situations with a tackle, they will win those situations. Marcus Davenport is too big, too physical, too freakish to be held down by one guy. Mm-hmm. James Houston is too fast, too bendy, too athletic to be stopped by a big fat tackle.
Too fast, too furious.
Too fast, too furious. Great movie. But
this Lions locker room is a family. It's all about the family.
They use the power of family in their bull rushes. No, but I love it because you have guys who can win one-on-one situations and guys that are going to be seeing one-on-one situations the entire year.
And two, another point I want to bring to this, just to add to the Davenport hype, is something that I've been thinking about, and a reason I'm buying in on this defensive end and the pass rush opposite of Aidan Hutch is that, you know, this team has been very healthy, relatively speaking. You know, we talked about it all the way back in the Hard Knocks when Dan Campbell's like, you got to trust me. He gets these players in phenomenal shape, in the right shape. And what is the one and only knock on Davenport? It's his availability. Yeah. So if he's put in a system where he can be healthy, sometimes you see that. Sometimes there's certain organizations in sports that just know how to keep their players at the right health, peaking at the right time physically. And if that's the case for Davenport, then we could be seeing a very good season. These numbers we talk about, these 6 sack numbers that we throw out, could be a low estimate.
Yeah.
It honestly could.
Yeah, there's this I forget his name. He's part of Underdog Fantasy and whatnot, but he did a breakdown of Aidan Hutchinson like 2 weeks ago. He's showing off a spin move. It's kind of related to like Dwight Freeney. And although Dwight Freeney, you saw the video, you know what I'm talking about? Although Dwight Freeney a little bit smaller, Aidan Hutchinson's ability to execute that, on top of have his bull rush, on top of just repositioning his arms, he's kind of just breaking down like Aidan Hutchinson now, like the reason why you need to triple and double team this guy. Yeah. He's an absolute monster. And have like a Marcus Davenport helping him out in that finally. It's, again, I think a lot of these pressures are going to turn to sacks for Aidan Hutchinson. And, yeah, I expect him to be one of the best defenders in the league.
2 players, fellas. Chris Jones, Aaron Donald. 2 absolute beasts on D-line. And 2 words, fellas. Super Bowls.
Let's go.
2 more players. Micah Parsons, TJ Watt in their 3rd season, over 14 sacks each. Both of them a force. I think Aidan Hutchinson this year takes that next step, and Aaron Glenn calling him out and saying this, he can take the expectation that he will do it. He's done it before in college. He has been that leader on the defense already as a young player in this league. When he hits that 3rd year, you take that next step like those other great defenders did, and that's the reason he's going to be the leader on this defense, being a key reason why they get to the Super Bowl.
I've said 6 sacks for Marcus Davenport. Where you guys at with that one?
I can see that. I don't know. I need
you got to put a number on it.
If I had to put a number on it, I'd say 4.5.
I think he's a 10.
I'd say
tall, dark, and
I
handsome.
don't know, man. It's hard for me to trust him to stay healthy the whole year.
That's fair.
Amen. That's where I'm at with this one as well.
Hypothetically.
Hypothetically, if he's healthy all year?
Plays 15, 16 games, yeah.
Which one, 15 or 16?
All right, 17.
8.
7 sacks.
Yep,
Yeah.
I'm with
8
Caleb.
sacks? Ooh.
8.
Caleb?
Yeah,
I feel right saying 6. You kind of, tired of the
yeah,
playoffs.
we keep hearing about this bull rush. I'm excited to see it. But back to Hutch real quick. When you talk about, Myles Garrett, TJ Watt, guys like that, those are game wreckers. And we
Yes.
need Hutch to be that this year. And I think Marcus Davenport is going to help with that because we really haven't had a guy on the opposite edge of Hutch that's been able to help him. And if Hutch is getting to the quarterback, we got a lot of playmakers in that secondary that are going to get turnovers.
Yes.
And we need We need Hutch to get to the quarterback fast, so the quarterback has to make quick and stupid decisions, get a turnover, and get the ball back to the offense. That's the Lions' winning recipe this year.
Yeah, with the Hutch thing too, like a lot of the stuff, and I get it, pressures aren't sacks. You rather have the sack over a pressure, but like the stuff, the way like Hutch is somewhat still a game wrecker. It just doesn't come in the form of sacks all the time. But we talked about it when we broke down the Mekhi Wingo tape. Is like sometimes you're forcing a quarterback to throw off platform. Sometimes you're forcing him just to throw a check down. He's only getting the 3 to 6 yards from that point. Like that's where he's already doing those type of things. But now I just think he's going to get close enough to get his hands on balls. Pause. You saw in the NFC Conference Championship game. Specifically, obviously, I think you see that a lot more often. I remember J.J. Watt's nickname back in Texas. Some say it's Tennessee. It used to be Texas.
Houston can't get fooled again.
J.J. Swat, baby. And I think Hutch is going to have that type of year. That feels crazy to say. By the way, too, I mean, J.J. Watt was on Pat McAfee, and I guess they are in contact. Like, getting a little tips from like one of the best to ever do it, at least in my lifetime. J.J.
Definitely
Watt
helps.
Yeah,
he's one of the best to ever do it in anybody's lifetimes. Dude's
cool.
a freak.
Sometimes I don't feel like justified saying those things only because I didn't get to watch the other guys live. You know what I'm saying? Also, is Josh Allen a Hall of Fame guy?
Yes.
Which one? Josh to the quarterback
yeah.
right now? Yeah, I mean, he's on pace, but he might have the most turnovers of all time, too.
Yeah. I don't know. Brett Favre got that one kind of
Locked away.
got that one locked. I ain't gonna lie.
Talking about ceilings, though, and like obviously J.J. Watt is crazy to think about, but can Hutch hit like that type of level where he's first team All-Pro like this year? Like, I don't think it's realistic to expect that from him.
I think it
but
is.
To expect first team All-Pro.
Yes. If I'm expecting 17.5 sacks, I'm expecting first team All-Pro. If we're expecting him to be in Defensive Player of the Year conversation, you should be expecting first team All-Pro. That's the type of air he has to breathe. If you want to win a Super Bowl, you need Aidan Hutchinson to be a Micah Parsons, Myles Garrett, T.J. Watt type of player, and I think he will be.
Yeah, I think he will be as well. Just
So would
a
you
lot of
disappointed in the
playmakers.
second team All-Pro,
no.
Spencer?
I wouldn't be disappointed, no.